Jesus, I trust in you. Good day, my friends. How much do we trust Jesus? How much faith do we actually have when we pray to Jesus? You know, Jesus told us that if we have faith as small as a grain of mustard seed, that we could say to the mountain, get up and be cast into the sea, and it would be. That's difficult to imagine, isn't it? And so difficult to believe. But, you know, the Lord does not lie. And there have been occasions when the saints have asked for ridiculous things and received them because they truly believed. And it just makes me wonder how much we don't trust, how much faith do we really have when we pray for things. Now, just only the other day we had the feast day of St. Dominic, and I told the story about the loaf of bread that didn't get back to him, but him and his brothers were hungry. They had nothing to eat whatsoever. But Dominic simply went into the hallway, sat down at the table with his brothers and said, the Lord will provide. And they prayed, and 2 young lads came in with 2 baskets full of bread. Mother Angelica, when she was setting up EWTN, she needed, I can't remember the figure now, so I might be wrong on this, but I think it was about $600,000 to put down on that a satellite dish. And it was being delivered that day, and she didn't have it. And she went in to the chapel, and she knelt down and she said, well, Lord, I'm here. I've ordered your satellite. You know, you've got to get me the money, you know. And with the same, there was a phone call, and the man came on the line and said he wanted to donate $600,000. The Lord had told him, you know. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, you know, she stepped out with nothing to help the poor. Dear of her, she had absolutely nothing but faith. And look what she achieved. And I just sometimes think that we underestimate the Lord in what he will do for us if we truly have faith. I think also sometimes the Lord speaks to us and reassures us that our prayer will be answered. Not in a verbal way, but we just get a sense that what we're asking for will be answered. I think one of the things that I remember was when I placed this little Divine Mercy card on my front door during the pandemic. And as carers, we had a lot of young people coming to our home during the pandemic. In fact, we took on some emergency placements, and nobody else wanted to take anybody because of the pandemic. Everybody was frightened to death they were going to die. But we stepped out in faith. We put this on our door, and I prayed Psalm 91 over the house. And I remember that year we had 13 people come and go through our house. They came from police stations and hospitals and all sorts of places. And we never had the COVID touch us. And I honestly believe that the Lord had given me this idea to place this on my front door. The first person to do so, by the way, was a woman during the Second World War who placed the little image of the Divine Mercy on her front door. And there was an air raid, and she went down into the air raid shelter. And when she came back up, her house was the only house in the street that had not suffered damage because she'd placed the Divine Mercy image on her door. The Lord gave us the Divine Mercy. He wants us to use it. He wants us to have faith in it. And the more faith we have, the more we will receive. Jesus, I trust in you. God bless.